What's up, guys? This is Big D, and I am the Grim Rider. Trying something kind of new, something I haven't really done before, and this is my first motovlog of sorts. I've never really done anything quite like this before, so I figure I'll give it the old college try and see what happens. I don't know if this is going to catch on. If it doesn't catch on, then it doesn't catch on, but you don't know unless you give it a shot, and so I figured I'd at least try it, see what happens. Trying to come up with something to talk about as far as this first motovlog goes, and I realized that as far as my other content goes, it's more or less like, hey, you know, this is me, and I'm riding here, or I'm going there to this event, or, you know, something like that. So, as far as my audience, you guys don't really know much about me. I don't really get into my life, you know, or myself personally that much. So none of you guys really, you know, probably know much about me. So I figure that might be where we start. Might be a good starting point. And so with that being said, well, we're going to get right into it. And so you're going to get to know a little bit more about me. And to start with, well, my name is Dwayne. I don't ever say that. I don't really even usually go by that, it seems like, in my life anymore. I call myself Big D, and that came about by my best friend, and you know him. He's been on the channel as of late, Nick the Noob. He started calling me that when, I don't know, it had to have been tail end of middle school or early high school. So Nick's been calling me Big D for years. And the reason for that is because, well, I've got a younger brother. His name also starts with a D, and so, well, since I was the oldest, I was Big D. I guess that would have made my brother Little D. He was never, ever called that, but it just, again, being the oldest, and both of our names started with a D, I was just Big D, and it just kind of stuck, and I just kind of rolled with that, and that kind of just carried over in my life throughout the years, and then to as my road name, riding with the club, and I needed a club name, or a road name, and so that just kind of went into that, and that's, you know, just carried that over to the channel. When I started this channel, when it was Big D Films at the time, and it just, I just kind of just kept using that for everything. Most people even don't even say Big D, they just go D for short. They're like, hey D, how you doing? You know, that's kind of just what I've gone by for last several years now. So, and the Grim Rider name, at least for the channel, that's there was a little character that I tried to develop at one point, and used it as a mascot of sorts, and you know, I called it the Grim Rider, and I kind of just carried that over to the new name of the channel, just something that I liked, you know, and I wanted to use for something. There's more about that in another video that I had done recently. You'd be able to see that if you want to. I'll put a link right around here somewhere or something, and you can kind of get that full story, but that's kind of how all that came about. I've been riding bikes for about 10 years now. I started in early 2011 with my first bike. It was a 1987 Honda Rebel 250, and that's what I started with, and I've upgraded over the years to now the Street Glide or the Road King, and, you know, we ride the big boy bikes now, so... And you see my wife, Renee, right here. She's on her Sporty. I'm riding with her today. And that's another thing about me. I am married. Renee and I, we've been married for a couple years now. We've been together far longer than that, but we've been married for a couple years, and I just enjoy riding. It's something that really allows me to just escape life. You know, escape, you know, the home life, which I'm not saying is bad, but the work life, just the overall, I guess, struggles of life. I can just forget about it and just, you know, go out riding and just enjoy myself. And so that's just, I really enjoy it, and being able to ride with my wife is great. And I'll touch on that probably in another video at some point. But oh yeah, go right ahead, buddy. I'm already doing 60. I'm not exactly sure what else you want, but that's fine. Either way, typically I can only get out and ride on the weekends. I've been called the weekend warrior. I've heard that before, but I can't help that as much as I would like. You know, with the shift that I work, I sleep during the day, I go to work at night, and I can't really take the bikes to work. I mean, I've rode the bikes to work before in the past, but where I work right now, I don't trust the parking lot. There's a lot of broken pallets all over the place, just stuff that I'd be worried about puncturing the tires, and people don't know how to, you know, drive and park into this parking lot, so I just don't trust the parking lot. And with that being said, as far as work, I don't ever mention work at all, because, to be quite honest, I hate the place. I absolutely despise the place that I work, and so I just simply don't talk about it. It is just a nothing BS factory job. It's in the automotive. I mean, we're here in Michigan. That's pretty much all we have. I mean, there's a few other industries, but it's mostly just the automotive industry. For myself, it's no different, and I work at this nothing automotive plant, and I drive a forklift. That's what I do. I wish it could be more exciting than I wish I could make that out to be more exciting than what it is, but it simply isn't. That's just what it is. I drive a forklift at an automotive factory. Whoop-de-doo. You know, and again, I don't like the place. I despise it, but you know, you got to pay the bills, and so I just put up with it. And at that point, with that being said, I'm kind of going to move on from there. I don't want to give them the time of day, even when I have to be there, let alone on my free time. So we're kind of going to move on from that. Hobbies. As far as my hobbies go, obviously I love riding. I can't think of doing too much else, and really anymore, if I'm not working, that's all I want to do is just ride. Just let me enjoy this. But as far as other hobbies, and you can take this for what it is, but I enjoy my video games. You know, I don't play a lot of video games. I used to when I was younger. That's what filled up a lot of my time when I was young, was video games. And again, you can take that for what you will, but it allowed me to, once again, kind of escape reality and just get out of the real world and immerse myself into a fantasy world where I can kind of be whatever I wanted and I can do whatever I wanted. And you know, it just allowed me to be freer. That's where my video games came in. RPGs specifically, and for those who don't know, RPG is a role-playing game, and so I could create my own character, and I could be who I wanted and do whatever I wanted. That's just something that I enjoy to do, and I'll still play a game every now and then. I also love movies and TV shows. I mean, if there's a good movie or a good TV show where, once again, I can get lost in the story and kind of, you know, forget about the real world, you'll find the more I talk about this kind of thing, I'm not a big fan of the real world and the way society is and all that. I'm not going to get into all of that right now. That's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother can of worms for another day. But I try to just escape the world, and so my games and my writing and my movies and TV, they all allow me to do that. And it's kind of funny because my brother and I, we do this quite often. We could watch a movie or a TV show once or twice, and if it's really good, we can recite it word for word. And so that's one thing that my brother and I, we always do. We always got movie quotes or something, no matter what's going on or whatever situation or scenario that's going on. I can about off the top of my head just come up with some kind of movie quote that would, you know, be related to it in some way, shape, or form. It's just something I've always been able to just kind of rattle off.
Right, it's my ice cream, Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, Lieutenant Dan. I got you some ice cream.
It kind of goes into TV, but one of my other biggest hobbies for the longest time, one of my biggest interests, not so much anymore, but it used to be. That's why I'll bring it up, because it was a huge part of my childhood and my early adulthood, was professional wrestling. I know that's probably kind of lame too, but that made up a big part of who I am. And I used to watch, you know, all these guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, and every Monday night, and these guys were like my superheroes. You know, I was fascinated by them. I wanted to be them to the point where I allowed my creativity to take over, and me and my brother and some of my best friends, you know, we put a wrestling ring. We built the wrestling ring in my backyard, and we did our own shows with our own characters. And if you want to see any of that, it is still available to watch. It's a whole nother separate YouTube channel to itself. It's SMIW. It stood for Southern Michigan Impact Wrestling. I'll put a link right in here and in the description if you want to see that. But it allowed me, once again, allowed me to be physical, for one thing. And I hate working out. I've never enjoyed working out. It's something I've just never been able to get into. But this allowed me to be somewhat physical, and again, it allowed me to be very, very creative and immerse myself in this world that I kind of created for myself. I was able to create my own characters, and I was able to, you know, be whoever I wanted to be and do what I wanted to do, and you know, just really allowed me to be creative with it, along with creating storylines and all that stuff. I love that kind of thing. Just like with stuff like this, where I could record these videos and, you know, make something out of it. It was the same thing with that. I could make something out of this from scratch, and it allowed me to be very creative. And when I go back and look at that stuff nowadays, the characters really are just, you know, different parts of my personality split up, and that's where all my characters came from. So I had my kind of wild and wacky side. There was a whole character for that.
There's some things that we need to go over. You see,
how are we gonna get there? Ladder, step stool, chair.
You see,
elevator, escalator. Getting over it. Yep.
Then I had my little bit darker side, a little bit creepier, a little more cryptic. You know, I allowed my dark side to come out a little bit in a separate character. I had one character that I was kind of my risk taker. You know, I was always willing to kind of try anything once, and so I'll be able to take a risk and take a chance. I had another character based on that part of my personality. And then there was the other part of me that was a kind of just a version of me, just turned up to 11. You know, I was a motorcyclist, and I was always angry, and I just wanted to beat people up, and that's just what I did. And I didn't, you know, I don't just go around beating people up, mind you. That's not what I'm saying. But every once in a while, especially walking around in these times, I feel like some people just deserve a beating every now and then. So that allowed me to kind of just do that. And I had one other separate character where I was more or less the boss of the show. And that's part of my personality as well. I've always been... I've never been much of a follower. I've always kind of just wanted to do things my own way and the way I wanted them to be done, when I wanted to do them. I always just, you know, wanted to kind of take charge and just do my own thing. And, yeah, not really follow. So I kind of had a character just for that, too.
Here it is. All you got to do is take it. And after that, stand by my side. That's all you have to do. Do the right thing.
But all those characters, you wrap them all together, and they sort of make up who I am as an individual. And you know, again, it just allowed me to be very creative, and I just absolutely love that. And going back to wrapping around to this stuff here, and, you know, again, I can take these videos and I can, you know, make something out of them. And I did the Road to Discovery series some time ago, something I was very proud of, and I'm able to incorporate some of that creativity into, say, this channel and just, you know, into writing, and it's something that I very much enjoy. As far as, you know, kind of getting back to the riding now with, you know, as far as my riding experience, again, I've been riding for about 10 years, and for, about 7 years of that, I was the president of a local riding club here in my area. And for the first year, and actually, I helped create the chapter. And for the first year and a half of that chapter, I was the vice president. And then for the last several years, I was the president. And I just recently gave that up. I stepped away from that. I'm still a part of the chapter. I'm still a part of the group, mind you, but I've allowed just somebody else to take that over, which has just allowed me to, just do more stuff like this. And I really wanted to get more involved with this YouTube thing, just see how far I could take it, what I could really do with that. And letting go of that position within the group was going to allow me to do more things like this, and just allow me to have more creative freedom with this, and something that I'm very, very interested in, and seeing where I can take it in the future. So that's just a little bit of stuff about me that you may have never known before. Again, I'll hopefully be able to do a couple more of these here in the very near future, and try to come up with some other things to talk about. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any more of these videos whenever it is that I get a chance to do them, or other ride videos, road stories. I'm not sure if I'll continue to do Shattered Glass Saloon segments. If I'm going to do them this route, then Shattered Glass Saloon may take a back seat for a little while, but with the other content, there's just, again, subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I got new videos and content coming up. Also, be sure to stop by the Grim Rider shop and pick up your Grim Rider merchandise. I got t-shirts, hats, some stickers, so stop by there, grab your Grim Rider merchandise, rock it, and show that you are a part of the Grim crew. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hope you'll tune in the future for everything else. And with that being said, once again, I am Big D. I am the Grim Rider. And until next time, we'll catch you down the road.